Welcome back to the Guy Dawson Show at the World Center of Broadcast Media, WCOBM.com. And in the second segment, we are always talking about these multiple platforms, Corintha, that you can watch the show on and the network.
So many platforms. You have so many choices, viewers. You have WCOBM.com, where we're always broadcasting live every Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the Guy Dawson Show. We also have Facebook Live as well. And we also have YouTube Live now, I believe. That's another platform we've been hosting live on that platform as well. So there's lots of different platforms you can actually catch the show, and we archive on YouTube as well. So definitely check us out there as well.
Yep, social media meets TV here at the World Center of Broadcast Media, and we want to create opportunities for people to be able to watch us all over the place. And the couple of years that we've been doing this show, it's just been phenomenal to see all the different channels that are constantly being introduced to enable you to watch either live or archived content.
Absolutely. And I mean, we're talking all over the planet.
Literally,
all over the planet, y'all.
Watch these shows all over the world.
Yes, yes. Huge outreach with this show.
In the last segment, I was saying that I was going to be talking with Corintha about her journey and what brought her to want to become a broadcast journalist and a PR person. And I've known Corintha for years. We are members of Toastmasters International, and we met there years ago. She always had a lot of interest in PR. She was in college studying it, and we had talked about her working with me, I don't know, probably about 3 years ago, Corintha.
Yes.
Literally,
yes.
It was quite a while ago.
It was, and you know, I really want to thank you. I know I do this all the time, but again, I want to thank you for your patience in working with me, because when I talked to Guy, I was not ready.
At least you were honest enough to say that you were.
That's true. You know, and that's something that I've always kind of held on to, is I'm definitely a woman of my word, and Guy knows that, you know, knows that well. And, you know, for me, it was just not the right time in my life at that point in time. You know, I was working full-time graveyard as a cocktail server. And going to school, graduate school right here at UNLV, studying journalism media studies, and it just wasn't the right time. But now that I'm in a much more flexible position where I have the time to be able to devote to this show and working in PR as a kind of an unofficial publicist / official publicist with
we're
Guy.
calling you the queen of all media, so I guess that covers publicist.
Yes, absolutely. And it's been an exciting and wild ride, that's for sure. I've been learning a lot. I mean, it's funny because I don't think I expected to learn this much in such a short amount of time. I definitely feel like my experience as a cocktail server, in a weird way, kind of helped shape me for this.
Really? How?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. First off, I am going to write a book one day about that experience, because you would not believe what goes on in those casinos, both with the staff and with the guests. But the other part of it is that I feel like it toughened my skin. You know, it helped me to realize that, you know, not to take things so personally. There's a lot of people out there who, you know, may say things or do things, and you have to realize that it's not about you. It's about them, and you have to figure out what you're going to do to react in those situations and react appropriately and professionally as you can. And I feel like that's definitely helped me to, you know, with this particular position. I even think about, you know, working on the floor at 4 o'clock in the morning, and, you know, I'm just exhausted, maybe going out there on, maybe having had maybe a half an hour, an hour of sleep because I've had to work on a school project or something like that. But, you know, the customers didn't know that. And, you know, in my mind, I felt like, you know what, it's not fair to them. They don't need to know that. All they need to know is that they're going to get the best professional customer service I can give them. I don't care how exhausted I am. And that was a huge lesson for me to learn, and it helped me even today. You know, the other day we were talking about faking it till you make it.
That's right.
I have really faked it till I made it on that casino floor.
And you have to do, I can see where you're saying how that really correlates to media, because there are days when I am doing this show or other shows when all kinds of other things are going on in our lives, and but that has nothing to do with the product that we are presenting to the audience. They deserve to get the best that we have to offer to them, and yes, it's definitely a separation, learning how to do that.
Absolutely. I'm happy that I've had that experience, because it did help me, you know, to grow and to be where I am now. And I feel like when I started working with you more, that was really kind of a turning point for me, in which, you know, at that time I felt like, okay, I'm ready. Bring it on. And, you know, and Guy is not shy about saying, oh, you're ready? Okay. I've got this and this and this and this for you.
Yes, my training style is, you know, I was raised by a father who was the kind of dad that would take you out in the middle of the woods and just turn you loose.
I love that word.
And this is when I was 8.
I love that word.
Because he wanted you to figure out how to make it in life. And so I think a lot of my style in teaching and working with people is just a reflection of how I've done things a lot. And me being in as an entrepreneur and being even in journalism, I didn't go to college. Corintha is educated in journalism, and she's actually learned the technical aspect of it. For me, I was a political science major in college, but that's a lot different than being a journalism major. And so my philosophy behind business and things is that I just get and put my hands on things and learn that way. And the people who work with me, they learn that that's the way that I do it, and they adapt. If I don't think that a person can do it, I don't do it. I don't put things in people's hands that I don't think unless I believe that they're capable of doing it. So I'm throwing a lot at you because I know you can do it, Corintha.
Thank you. I appreciate the confidence in me, and you know, clearly I'm, you know, gaining that experience, and you know, exponentially because of it, and I want to thank you for that. But I also, you know, one of the things too that I really appreciate about working with you is that, you know, I really believe that you work hard to cultivate the best in the people around you, and it's not just, you know, from everybody from, you know, anybody who's interning for you, someone like me who's kind of an intern / publicist / co-host / queen of all media.
That's a lot of slashes,
slash. But even your clients and the guests that are on each of your shows, you really, you know, I'm learning from that also. You know, kind of just I learned a lot just from observing you and how you interact with your guests and your clients. And one of the things that I really appreciated was, it was so funny though, I do have to kind of share with you that moment when you said, "Hey Corintha, go ahead and host the show by yourself." I was terrified. You
Everyone
have no
is.
idea.
Everyone is.
Really? Wow.
They all are.
Well, let me tell you why though. It's because you get in here and you make it look so natural and easy and effortless, and it's just smooth. And then I get in here and I'm like,
You did a great job.
Thank you.
You did a fantastic job. And again, if I didn't feel that Corintha had what it took, you have to have a belief in people, and that's I've learned that through the years, through a lot of leadership experiences. People will become what you think they can become. Literally, if you say that people, oh, you're not good enough, you don't have what it takes, they will reflect that. And when you tell people, especially when you see that they have it, you know, we all have different skill sets. Not everyone has a skill set to be able to sit here in front of a camera and have all these people that are watching you. But when you see that in a person, the way that you help them to grow into what it is that you can see in them when they can't necessarily see it in themselves is you have to tell them, hey, my way of doing it is, hey, just go ahead, Corintha, and host the show all by yourself and book the guests and everything.
Just go walk into the fire. You're fine. You're fine. Just put some shoes on first, okay? Well, but I do want to say too that I don't want to lead anybody astray in terms of thinking that he just threw me into the fire with no preparation. One thing I do appreciate about working with you is you coached me on the phone before I even sat in this chair and hosted the show by myself. And I think that's really important. And I also feel like your leadership is definitely something that and leadership skills is definitely something that I'm learning from as well, just by working with you. And I feel like there's other leadership skills that I already walked into this role with that just kind of gained through life experience and learned through Toastmasters, because really that's where it all started. If you want to talk about where I started with this whole thing, I would definitely say Toastmasters for sure, because it wasn't just meeting you, it was getting up in front of a room and figuring out that, oh, I'm good at this. This is something confidence. This is something I could do for a living maybe. How do I do this? And I realized that being up in front of the room, what I loved most was relating to people, seeing, connecting with people in the audience and interacting with them and watching people get those aha moments and really understanding, reflecting upon what I was saying to them in speeches that I was giving in Toastmasters, which eventually led to me working in HR and teaching orientation at Mandalay Bay, which was a truly valuable experience. And then I transferred into cocktails so that I could go to graduate school. And then, of course, now I'm working as a graduate assistant at UNLV. And it's been a wild journey. I want to write a book about everything, I swear. But I do want to write a book even about my life in general, and just kind of, I feel like I've worked really, really hard to get to where I'm at now, but I still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it never ends. Why'd you choose journalism?
I chose journalism because I feel like journalism is a great way to connect with people. And for me, what I'm truly passionate about is telling other people's stories. I'm passionate about telling my own story, but I feel like, personally relating with someone on a one-on-one level, even having that interaction earlier with Cynthia, really understanding their stories, their perspectives, and where they come from, just really relating the human experience to the world, and really giving a voice to people that that maybe wouldn't normally be heard. For me, that's what I'm truly passionate about. That's something we did recently. I thought one of the most powerful things I heard out of the entire event at the Beacon Center, which was amazing.
Didn't we have a lot of fun the other day?
We had an amazing time. So next time you hear about a Business with Heart event, definitely come. And if you didn't come, you missed out on Tony and Rocco, the super cute chihuahuas.
Yeah, we did have those cute dogs there.
Yes, but it wasn't just about that. That whole idea of business with philanthropy, and the doggies, they can't speak for themselves. I mean, although one was pretty vocal, I think it was Rocco.
I started barking during one of the.
He started barking during one of the speeches. He was giving his feedback. It was like Toastmasters, and he was like an evaluator. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, at the same time, he doesn't have the human language to be able to speak for himself. So of course, that's why Cheryl was able to do that, on behalf of Hearts Alive Village. But I think about causes like that. I think about just people in general who are in a place in which there should be. I feel like there should be exposure for people who desire it in terms of wanting to tell their stories, and that's what I'm passionate about.
And that's the thing that I see in most people who get involved in journalism, is that they have an unquenchable thirst for information and to know people's stories, and that's why being a PR and a marketing person for me is just so enjoyable, because I just interview people constantly and just hear stories about how they got to where they are in life and what they're going through. And it's just, I've always been that way. I've always been very interested in learning the story behind people, because you meet people a lot of times and we have an image or a facade that we put, or you don't really get to know a person very well. You just meet them in passing, just not a lot of people that you really get to have a close connection with. But when you sit down and you interview someone and they know that you're really interested in what it is that they have to say, they'll share all kinds of things with you. And later they'll come back to you and they'll say, I can't believe I told you that. on
the air.
On the air. I mean, I've had radio and TV interviews like that where people said, I can't believe I shared that with you. But it was something that was meant to be. And so that's, you have that journalistic type of a mindset. And I think that that's going to carry you a long way in this.
Definitely. Thank you, Guy. Thank you. I definitely feel that I have that ability in terms of connecting with people. I feel like that's something that I've had my entire life. And it's interesting because it wasn't until, I received some really wonderful mentoring. I actually worked in corporate sales before I worked in HR. I got the chance to work with a wonderful mentor. My VP at the time was Michael Dominguez, and he's actually still there. And, he was very, very helpful in terms of mentoring, but one of the best things that he ever did was he gave me the book Strength Finders 2.0, and then he recommended Marcus Beckingham's Find Your Strongest Life. And those two books were life-changing for me because after I read those and took the test to kind of rate where I was in terms of, what my strengths and abilities were, it was so eye-opening for me because I realized that what I had previously thought of as weaknesses were actually my strengths. And I had no idea. I never thought of it that way before. So my two top strength finders are harmony and empathy. Are you surprised? No.
Yeah. Because she's Miss Kumbaya, right?
Yes.
Which is a wonderful thing when you're interviewing people.
Absolutely. I think it's a wonderful skill because I have the ability to really show that empathy for people. I might not be able to relate to them in any way whatsoever with my life experience, but I'm the kind of person that, no matter what your experience is, I feel that I have the ability to touch you and to reach you. And, my goal is that after we've talked, that you do feel like that I maybe not understand where you're at, because I think that that's a misconception. I think sometimes, our goal is, when we talk to people, we can't necessarily understand where someone else is at because we're not them. But I let them know that. Like, hey, you know what? I don't know what it's like to be you. I can't be in your shoes when you're, every day when you're walking around being you. And when you have to go to bed at night and you make the decisions you make, I'm not there. It's you. But, at the same time, can I be someone who is at least empathetic and willing to listen? Can I be an ear for you so that you feel like you can talk about it? Absolutely. I think that that's really where,
I think that's how Oprah Winfrey became a billionaire.
Yes.
Is because she had that ability, or she still does have that ability to make people feel that she cares for them. And
yes.
You hear she's thinking about running for president. Did you see that?
Are you serious?
Well, she's been talking about the fact that because of our current president was elected.
Right.
People had asked her to run in the past, but she just didn't think it was possible, being a celebrity, that you could win. But now that a celebrity has been elected president, she feels that there is a possibility that she could run for president in the next election.
Wow. Okay. All right. I would definitely vote for Oprah. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
She's got my vote.
Yeah. But her whole career was built on that show and the empathy and the connection, her honesty with her audience, sharing her struggles, her triumphs, and people, they love that because we all have these experiences, and some people are willing to bare their souls in front of millions of people like her, and most people aren't. And because she's willing to do that, it's genuine and people can connect with it. It's really led a lot to her success.
Definitely. And I hope that will translate into me being super duper crazy successful, but we'll see. It depends what route I go. I mean, I'm thinking about the future, but there's a lot of different avenues that I could go. There's documentaries. There's of course everything to do with broadcasting, PR. I feel like the possibilities really are limitless for me, and I'm feeling like I'm in a really good place with that.
Well, I'm really appreciating having a new co-hostess with the mostest, Miss Corintha Turvalon, the queen of all media, and we're putting these shows on. It's just a lot of really interesting content. We've got some great shows in the pipeline. We have a YouTube video that's been super successful. We just got we're up to 1,000 views when I had the Australian Bee Gees on, and it's climbing. And so, yeah, you're going to want to continue to tune into these shows every week. We're looking for subscribers on the Guy Dawson Show channel on YouTube. Please go over and subscribe, and you can watch our shows all day long. You can have marathons. I got this from Corintha. Binge watch.
Yes.
The Guy Dawson Show if you like, because we have 2 years worth of content over there. And so go visit us on YouTube, and I hope you have a wonderful week, and we will see you next Thursday.